are, the more sensitive we are.
I came very
So,
sensitive. I came in
pardon me?
very sensitive. I came in very sensitive.
Yes, yes. And so when we came into our mother's womb, as we agreed to go through the veil of forgetting, when we entered our mother's womb, it was so painful to be here because we went from being a golden spiral of light to coming into human form and going from a form of bliss to 96 to 97% fear. It was huge. And when we entered our mother's womb, it was like we slammed into a brick wall. And we could feel all of our mother's pain and all of our father's pain and the pain of their relationship. We could feel the pain of our relatives and our ancestors. We could feel the pain of our family, extended family. We could feel the pain of the town we were living in and the community. We could just feel it all. It
Yeah.
was overwhelming. And most of us, so there's 10% of the population, the ascended masters here to lead the way, we ended up making a decision to leave because it was just too much.
I had a
So
brother who left at age 4.
you had a brother that left at age 4?
Yes.
Well, there you go. But you also made a decision to leave at 4.
Well, why didn't I leave?
And so I made the decision to leave at 3, and I was one of the first children. They did open heart surgery on in 1949, and in my surgery, I had my near-death experience. In your particular case, you passed out, and you were crying, and you were crying so hard, your breath got held when you passed out. And at the time, when you passed out, Mother Mary was holding you. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
And she was constantly around you when you were little. And she kind of left for many years. And then you asked her to come back when you were 23, and she did. And she's been with you ever since, by the way. But she held you, and when you collapsed, because you were a little bean, and you were sitting on the floor, and you were crying, and then you just fell back, and you fell back into her lap. And she held you and sang to you through the whole thing. And she took you by the hand, and she took you to where the scanning machine was. But before she did that, she held you for 12 hours. And she just held you and sang to you to fill you with so much love because you had felt so stressed. And she held you for a long, long time. And then when she finished singing, she just held you and rocked you. And you were next to her heart for a long, long time. And then you finally woke up and you smiled when you saw her. And she tickled your nose with her nose. And she kissed your sweet face and she said, "Do you know how much I love you?" And she held your arms out. She goes, "This much and more."
Oh my
And
gosh! I used to say that to my son. I used to say,
that,
"How much do you know how much I love you?" And then I would put my hands out small, and then I say, then I'd make it bigger and bigger and bigger until it'd be so wide. No, more and more and more. That's the game I used to
there
play
you
with my
go.
son.
Yes. And that's what she did with you. And then you clapped. It's so cute. She showed you clapping. And then she said, "I have something I want to show you." And she gave you some elixir of light and sustenance. Do you know what the elixir of light is?
I know.
It's a golden liquid that sparkles like diamonds. It's the consistency your body to receive complete love in every part of you. And she gave you some of that, and then she turned you around, and you were sitting on her lap, and she showed you almost like you're looking in a wishing well. That's the way she presented you. And she showed you all the things you wanted to experience in this life. And 3/4 of the way through, you started to cry. And she held you and kissed you. And you said to her, there's so much I don't think I could ever do all that. And she held you again, and she said, look again. And then as you looked again, you saw yourself accomplishing exactly what you wanted to accomplish and clapping again. And you said to her, I can do it. And she said, yes, you can. But she said, it's your choice. It's your choice. And she said, I will not influence you. She said, this is your choice. Search your heart. So you walked in a garden, and she sat on a bench under a big tree. And you walked on the grass, and you smelled the flowers for 10 hours. You were just in your own world. And you came back to her and you said, I decided to honor what the higher wisdom of me felt I could accomplish in this life, regardless of how frightened I have been. And Mother Mary held you and she said, that's a beautiful decision. And she said, are you ready to go back? And you said, absolutely. And so she took you by the hand, she walked you back through your life, she let you stay on her lap, because you remember you had passed out on her lap.
Yeah.
She let you stay on her lap until you woke up, which was a minute. And then you realized that you've been enveloped in love. That's all you could remember, is you've been enveloped in her cloak of love. And you put your hand on your heart and you said, I'm home. And that meant that you were home with Mother Mary. That's how you felt. And that was your first one when you were 4. And she's been with you on your other 2.
Was this telesummit part of it?
Pardon me?
Was creating this telesummit part of it?
Of course it was.
And there's
Of
some
course.
bigger things as well to come.
Yes, there is.
Am I going to live in Sedona, Arizona?
She's telling me, well, I can't because you haven't created tomorrow yet.
Okay.
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
But she's telling me to tell you that you are going to recognize that you are a world citizen. I've never heard that term before. She said to tell you you are a world citizen. Now what that tells me is that you may be doing a lot of traveling.
I have done some traveling already, but yes.
But
Yes.
I think it's going to be different. I think you're going to be teleported. I don't necessarily think it means you're going to pack a bag and go on an airplane.
Okay.
I think, oh, she's telling me, she says, you're so clever, Judy, you always figure it out. I'm feeling that you're going to start extending yourself to other parts of the world. And your energy is going to go there, and you're going to actually have remote viewing. You're actually going to see where it is, and you're going to see what change it is you want to make. And you're going to do it all from the beauty of your own self. That's how it feels to me.
And I'm going to go to specific areas to bring in transformation
Yes.
that is needed.
And they're showing me you're going to see it. You know, only once did I ever see my third eye like that, where I saw, just like I was looking at a movie screen, and I could see every detail, just like I was watching a television screen. And they're showing me that you're going to see everything clearly, just like you were watching a television. And you're going to see where the areas of need are, and you're going to know the individuals that you want to connect to, and you're going to do that. That's exactly what she's showing. consciously. It's not going to be in your sleep state. You're going to do it consciously. And there again, this is a choice that you have. It's not necessarily something you have to do. This is one of your opportunities that you're presenting to yourself, that you have an opportunity to do if it so is guided by your heart. And she will be helping you with that.
Well,
That's why she came back when you were 23, because you asked her to be with you during the most significant events of your life. And that's what she's been doing. And actually, she will be the one holding you when you take your last breath. By the way.
Mother Mary?
Yep. Yes.
Does she have a relationship on the other side with my physical mother?
Yes, she says your mother has a great sense of humor.
My mother?
Yes. She finds your mother's sense of humor wonderful.
And has my mother been trying to communicate with me for these last 18 years or so?
She's saying your mother's subtle. Was your mother a gracious person?
Very gracious, yes.
Yes, because that's what I'm feeling. She's gracious. So she's not coming in a loud way. It's more subtle. She stands in the room with you. She doesn't touch you. She just stands in the room with you, and you can feel her energy. That's what she does.
My mom just comes here. Do I have a great grandmother, a grandmother of my mom's from her side, maternal side also?
You have a long line of very spiritual, gracious women.
Is that from my ancestry?
You have some that are real characters, and a couple that are kind of kooky, but you've got this lineage. They're showing you this beautiful golden thread in your mother's lineage that carries this gracious energy. It's really beautiful. And it comes from a very high level of wisdom. And your mother, interestingly enough, I don't know if she's ever said that to you or you were aware of that, she flashes in and out with Kuan Yin.
I didn't know that, no.
She's showing me her as Kuan Yin and then her as a golden moon. And she's showing me Kuan Yin. So that tells me that she was a very compassionate person. Now, whether she's more compassionate now compared to how she was here may be another story. But
She had a tough life here because of a sister who abused her terribly.
Because she's showing me compassion, and that's what she wants you to get as a message from your mother, is to have compassion for yourself. Do you understand?
To be kinder to myself,
Yes.
to not be so hard on myself, where I
Yes.
think everything's gone wrong.
To be more gracious with yourself.
Yes.
Yes, she's clapping and saying, I got it. And she's teasingly saying to me, yes, you are very clever. You did get it. But she really is coming from a place that's just encircling you with love. And she keeps showing me Kuan Yin, so that was to give you her message.
Well, Kuan Yin represents love and compassion.
Yes. I always think of her as a female Buddha.
Mm.
That's how she always feels in my heart.
And she knows
And
that I have a sister.
Krishna.
Oh, Krishna.
Krishna's
He
in the
appeared to me.
background.
He appeared to me when.
Yes.
Is he there as well?
Yes, he's standing in the background. He's all blue. And he's standing in the background.
He he came to me and he asked me if I wanted to win the lottery, and I said no. I want my mother's health. Does she know that?
Of course she does. So Krishna's in the background.
What's Krishna's message to me? Has he got a message for me?
Well, let me ask him if he's not saying anything. He's just standing there very quietly. Let me ask him. Yes, he said delightfully. Okay, here we go. I am bemused by the expansiveness of who you are. I giggle when I see you with a funny smile on my face because I know you so well. And you continuously surprise me. And it's always fun to be in your energy. We go way back beyond what we would call memory into an original point of creation, you and I. And we have been friends longer than memory holds. There is a sacred place in my heart for you. And I covered you with my energy. And you were in a blue sphere of love. And I allow and make sure that your space is permeated with a foundation of joy. This is not always perceived on a human level as joy, but it can take the sting out of different situations that you may find yourself experiencing. A foundation of joy allows you more latitude to have different experiences of different ranges of emotion and still come back to the safety of your oneness. It is quite wonderful that as human beings we have such an expanse of opportunities to experience every facet of life. And we come to a place where there's no good and there's no bad, there just is. And we rejoice in the breath. The breath is our greatest gift. For through the breath we have life. And life is always a gift. No matter what we peruse, what transpires, or what we view one way or the other. He's handing you a small golden box. And in the box is a small golden heart. And it's on a chain. And he's putting it around your neck. And he's saying, may you remember the heart of Krishna is always with you. Always. How lovely is that? Wow. Now he's kissed your heart. He's stepping back. He's saying, remember I'm always with you. With every breath I hear. With every breath. I know you. With every breath. I see you and smile. Wow, that's beautiful.
Wow, that was beautiful.
So you have a golden locket around your neck from him.
Wow.
How beautiful is that?
That's just astounding.
Never had somebody do that before.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Nope. It
I
was
was
actually beautiful.
I was in we were in Kew Gardens. It's botanical gardens, the world famous. Some 15 years ago, and there were peacocks there. My son was chasing these two peacocks we came across, and they left us these two feathers, and I've had them ever since. And they're here.
Yes, that was to remind um, you and your son that you were sacred.
But my son hasn't spoken to me for 4.5 years.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your son is processing.
That's right.
He's quite angry. Um, and he's going through an internal growth cycle where he has to come to a place of resolution within himself, and he hasn't come there yet. So just let him work through. They're showing me the feeling he has is like he's in a paper bag punching, and no matter how much he punches, he can't get through the wall. And that's because he's approaching it with anger. Once he dissipates the anger, the opening will present itself. But he's not there yet. So just stay out of it and just send him love and just let it go. He's processing. You know, I said goodbye to my older daughter twice. She's 52. And I raised my children pretty much on my own from the time they were 1.5 and 3 until I got remarried when they were 9 and 10. And even when I got remarried, they were mainly my responsibility. And they both left home when they were 16, almost 17. And they were both gifted children.
Yeah.
So my youngest is 50. She'll be 51. She'll turn 51. And that's the one that's a pet psychic and lives with me. And then my older one lives in Los Angeles, and she is in music. She writes music all by ear. And but I had to say goodbye to her twice in her life. And it's not because I didn't love her. It's because I loved her enough to allow her to follow her journey, even when it didn't align with me. And I told her that. I said, you need to listen and honor what you're feeling, but your choices are not working for me at this time in my life. And I do not choose to be around it. And I've had to say that twice to her. And neither time did she understand why I did what I did. And at some point she'll get it. But my relationship with my children is not necessarily mother to daughter, even though that exists, but it's soul to soul.
I see my relationship with my son more like that as well.
Yes.
That's the contract that
And
he made with me, and I said I would give
Yes.
him the space. I would be the perfect
Yes.
mother for him, because I will give
Exactly.
him the room to grow and do what he needs to do.
So just when you see him as a golden, radiant being, because that's who he really is. And all the stuff he's going through as a human really has very little to do with your relationship with him.
Right. So at the
Does that
source
help?
level, at the source level, we are always connected. We've always been connected. There's been no disconnection.
Nope. And you have what's called a family heart chakra. Do you know what that is?
No, I would love you to explain.
I don't know where you grew up, but when I grew up, they used to have maypole dances. And maypole dances were in the spring, and they would have a tetherball. Do you know what tetherball is?
No.
Okay, well, they had a piece of metal that was a pole that was the ball, and it was on a long string. It was called tetherball.
Mm.
Well, they have a huge metal pole that's probably, let's say, 10 feet tall,
Yeah.
and they would take the ball off and they would add um, many, many silk ribbons of different colors, and they would attach them at the top of this pole. And each child would take one of the ribbons, or sometimes they were streamers, and they would dance around the pole. And we would dance to Welcome in Spring, where you plant flowers. Anyway, it was called Maypole Dance. Well, when they showed me the family heart chakra, it looked like that. It was a tall pole of light, and coming out of the top of the pole of light were these different rainbow strings of colors, and each family member in your family has a different stream of colors. And they showed me the family members dancing around this pole because their relationships are constantly shifting and changing. And it's called your family heart chakra. So what I was guided to do, the first time I said goodbye to my older daughter, was they showed me to send love to the top of the pole of light. And as I sent love to the heart of the family chakra, the love went to each family member, and each family member got what they needed, and I didn't have to be concerned about it. And through this visualization of the family heart chakra, I saw the pole with all the family members and each string of rainbow colors of ribbon coming out of the top inside of its huge heart. And so what they said to me is, you're connecting sacred heart to sacred heart with each member of your family when you send love to the center of the family heart chakra at the top of the pole. And then each family member gets exactly what would honor them. And when they presented this to me, I thought, is this not the most beautiful way to honor family, even when some of the beings have passed and you never met them, or some of them haven't been born yet, or some of them you may have been estranged from for various reasons. But in the family heart chakra, everybody is honored and everybody is included. It's beautiful.
Wow.
So that's what I would do. I would send love to the heart of the family heart chakra at the top of the pole, and that love will then go down each stream of color of the rainbow to honor each member of your family.
Even if they're past or generations gone, ancestral
That's
as well.
what I felt. I felt that all of the lineage is attached to the family heart chakra.
That's astounding. But I will tell you, I was traveling in Canada in 2008, and I did see some children doing exactly that sort of thing, something tied to a tree with lots of
Yes.
different colored streamers.
Yeah.
And they were getting gifts. They were going around it, and this was in May, early May, going around singing, and there were also picnic tables with balloons and
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
yes,
Yeah, they used to do this in school, in elementary school. We
yes,
would do it.
yes. I saw that in Canada.
And I just remember being fascinated because I loved all the colors of the ribbon.
Yes.
And I loved the fact that I looked and saw all these children dancing with me in a circle. It was such a place of joy. It was just wonderful.
Yes,
So I'm glad you had a chance to see that.
Yes, I saw
It
that.
makes what I'm describing even more real.
Yes. Oh, yes, because I could see they were having an outing in nature. It was a school group, and they were just so happy and dancing
Yeah.
around
I
the
had no
street.
idea.
And they were beating the thing in the middle with something. They were, they were actually.
Oh, pinata.
Piñata, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's where they take paper mache and they make the figure of an animal, and inside they put candy.
Oh, right, okay, so that's what I saw. That's so, okay. Okay, that's what I
That
saw.
comes
Okay.
from Mexico.
Okay.
And that's what they do for children's birthdays. They make piñatas.
Maybe
And
just
I actually
somebody's.
made a piñata.
Yeah.
For one of my children's birthdays, I made a big piñata, and I put little toys in a lot instead of candy so that they wouldn't get so much candy, but I did put candy in there.
Mm.
But that's called a piñata, and that comes from Mexico. That's what children do in the Hispanic families. They have piñatas.
All right. Oh wow. Oh.
Well,
My brother who passed in 2008.
pardon me?
My brother who passed in 2008.
What did your brother pass from?
He had stomach cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry. You miss him.
Yes, very much. I miss him.
Had you ever heard from him?
No, no. But I
What's
heard
your brother?
his name is
What's your brother's name?
Dilip. Dilip.
Philip?
Dilip. It rhymes with Philip, yes. But it's D-I-L-I-P.
D-H-I-L-I-P. Philip.
D-I-L-I-P. D for Delta. I-L.
I-L-I-P. Philip.
Yes, Dilip.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, hold on. He's with a grandmother.
From my maternal side?
Let me ask.
Great
No, from your father's side.
Oh, okay.
He's with a grandmother. She's very protective. She feels like a woman from the old country. That's what she feels like.
Mm.
She's wearing like a shawl. But she very much loves him.
I'm glad.
She's got him by the hand. So let me ask him if there's anything he wants to say to you. I'm sorry.
I should be saying I'm sorry to him.
Yeah, he's saying sorry to you. So let me ask him if he wants to elaborate. I felt bad because I knew the pain that I was losing my family in the way that I was leaving my family. I was joyful that I was moving on, and I knew in the core of me that it was time, even though I thought it. I have since come to a place of peace, and I know that it really is and was the best. I have grown so much since I have come here, and as I have entered the sea of who I am and have a better understanding of all the ways in which I have sprouted in so many varied ways in what we call lives, I am amazed at all the adventures that I'm having, and I can tune in to each one at any time and see my progress. This was not something that I was consciously aware of when I was living in the family unit with you. But since I have expanded beyond my perceptions of me as a lowly human, I now understand the key to life and a much clearer understanding of the purpose of everything I went through. I say to you, my sweet sister, rejoice. Krishna's message was exactly correct and right on. It is all about the heart. I didn't get that while I was here, but I get that where I am now. I see and feel everything. I know everything you're going through. And I sit quietly and I send you love. I whisper to you in your left ear at times to reassure you that you're not alone and that I may not be in a body sitting next to you, but I am sitting next to you nonetheless. It is through trepidation, adventures of fear, and feeling the contrast and the dichotomy of issues that we grow as a person. I had many of that. And cancer, although it created a great deal of pain, gave me some of the most illuminating awarenesses of my life. I knew within a moment how much I loved my family, way beyond what I ever felt before. I knew I was priceless, and I was a treasure, and I treasured each of you. That has not changed. That has not changed. I am with you always, my sister. And you and I are having so many adventures in so many realms that's staggering. So take heart and know this is not the only time that you and I have been together in a family. We have had many adventures, sometimes aligning with each other, and sometimes opposing each other, and sometimes briefly connecting with each other. But our souls know each other. I am with the family, and I know I'm cherished and loved. And if you get nothing else out of my message today, know that you are also cherished and loved. And he's giving you a kiss on your right cheek. And he's putting his hand on your face. And he's putting his whole face on your face. And he's closing his eyes. And he's saying a prayer. May you know the light of who you are with every breath that you take. And now he's stepping back. And now he's leaving. And he's waving. And he's turning back and blowing you a kiss. He's saying, I'm always here with you in our heart and family and beyond. Wow. Very gentle heart.
Very, people see this. He had a very gentle heart. Very tough time, but very gentle.
Very wise being.
And very much for the family, yes.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to experience part of your family. It was beautiful.
Yes. Thank you for showing me
You're welcome.
where they are now, and what they are doing, and the adventures they're having on the other side. It's a very rare
Yeah,
case.
he's really delighting in it.
Yes,
He really is.
he wanted his consciousness to rise. He just so wanted that.
Yeah, it did. It is.
Oh, Judy, that's something. Wow.
Nice way to spend some time with you, Shashi.
And to know that Mother Mary has been there with me as well.
Always. Yeah, she left when you were 4 after your near-death experience, and then she came back when you were 23, because that's when you asked her to be with you. Now, she peeked in on you from time to time,
Mm.
but staying there with you full 24/7. She didn't come back till you were 23.
And she stayed with
And
me
then
ever
she's
since?
been with you, and she's staying with you till she will help you take your last breath.
She's never leaving me?
She's never leaving you. She's staying with you. And she's saying your last breath is a long way off, so no concerns. She said you love life too much. You're still ready to stay here.
I'm very much ready to stay here. Very
Yeah,
much.
that's what she said.
And I love people, and I love people. I just love
I do too.
connecting. This is what, about this Tele Summit has been the best bit for me.
Yes.
It's
It's a
connecting.
beautiful gift.
It is.
You know, each time I'm having an opportunity to do a telesummit,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I look at it, is I'm planting and awakening a garden of flowers, and each soul is a beautiful flower in its own right. And I'm literally assisting to awaken the garden into its full bloom.
How beautiful is that?
And I don't really care which flower's there. I don't care where they're placed. I just delight in seeing the whole world as a garden of all of these little faces and little hearts. And each is in their own way blooming absolutely beautifully to create the most magnificent rose garden possible. That's my own personal, never shared that with anybody, but that's how it always feels in my heart. It feels like we're just all blooming so beautifully, and we're all this huge human garden. We're all just blooming like a big garden of flowers. So that's why I never care. I don't care how many people listen. I don't care how many come in and pay for this or pay for that. Or I just know that whenever we present ourselves in whatever way speaks to our heart, we've met whatever we needed to do. And however it all filters out, it all filters out. And I don't get too caught up in it all. I just am grateful for the opportunity to bloom more flowers in the garden of life.
Well,
whatever significant way that I add to that garden.
I'm so happy because I did so want to attract the highest vibration beings of light and
I'm sure you're doing that, because when I looked at your list of when I looked at some of the information that transformation to joy, it felt very good in my heart.
Did you get to see the preview of the website I put up? It's not ready yet, but
no, I don't think I did. I don't remember, because I've been so, like I said, I was in bed for 2 weeks, and and then I've done sessions and stuff, but I was spacing them out. But I'm still tired, so I'm giving myself permission to just do whatever I can do to keep it as simple as I can, and just let myself rest. So that's
well, you see, that's why I thought you weren't doing a session, because I felt you
actually I love doing sessions.
Okay.
Because each one's an adventure, and they're totally different.
Yes.
It's like this morning. You know, you and I are here to talk about the details about the telesummit, and we're off channeling your brother and your grandmother. So, you know, and your mom. I mean, it's interesting.
And Lord Krishna. Don't forget Lord Krishna.
Yes, Lord Krishna and Mother Mary. You know, and see, that's why I put 60 plus, her, I said, if we had kept it to 30 minutes, I would have literally left you hanging in pain. And I cannot do that in good conscience.
No.
And so I wanted to complete what I needed to give her, so I knew when she got off the phone, she had taken her next step, whatever that is.
Wow.
And that's what I do. So every once in a while, I'll have somebody say to me,
Yeah.
I want to pay you for your extra time. And I'll say, that's your choice.
Yeah.
If you choose to. But I don't come from that space. So I don't even look at the clock. I just do whatever I'm being guided to do, and I leave it at that, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, how wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
you and I will be connecting again in about 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
So have a beautiful day.
Thank you. I'm going to get myself something
We'll
to eat.
connect again.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
We
Me
will.
too.
Thank you so much. Judy, whereabouts are you? Are you in California?
I live near Palm Springs, about a half an hour.
So
out of Palm
which is the biggest city? Because I'm going to dial into a local number somewhere near you.
Well, Palm Springs is pretty big. I'm about an hour from San Diego,
San Diego. Okay.
in the lower part of Southern California,
Okay. So I'll see if
and
there's
I'm about 3 hours from Los Angeles. So I'm more in the southern part of Southern California, but I live about a half an hour out of Palm Springs,
Okay.
which is about an hour from San Diego.
Wonderful. Okay, that's
And
brilliant.
San Diego is near Mexico, so it's at the very bottom of Southern California.
All right. Okay. Well, it was a pleasure connecting with you as always.
Well, it's wonderful. Have a wonderful day, sweetie, and we'll connect later.
Yes, we'll do that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, why didn't I leave?
And so